Hey, GLP-1 plus sides community. Before we jump into the podcast, please take the time to leave us a 5-star review on whatever audio platform you're listening to the podcast on. Share your story and how the podcast has helped you. This will help us get referred up in the audio platform so that we can reach more people that need our help, our support, and guidance from our doctors. Help us get loud and change things.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
Hey everyone, before we dive in, I really want to share something personal with you. About, I want to say like 8 to 10 months ago, after losing 100 pounds on GLP-1s and keeping it off for a long time, I started regaining out of nowhere, and I was terrified. But I also started having hot flashes and bouts of crying and snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. unable to go back to sleep. It turns out I was in perimenopause. So I started hormone replacement therapy, which is also called HRT, through a telehealth called Winona that specializes in this. And it changed everything. And now I'm sleeping better. And my hot flashes are all but gone, thank God. And I feel like myself again. And it turns out that you can actually start perimenopause as early as 35. And well, I'm 46 and she's here. HRT has really come a long way and there's just no need to suffer anymore. So if you're like this and you're in the same boat, you can check out buywinona.com and you can use the link in our link tree to save some money.
Want the fastest working GLP-1? For half the price, Ro now offers FDA-approved weight loss injections cheaper. With results you can see faster. Lose 15% of your weight with the formula from Eli Lilly that hits not one, but 2 hormones to curb hunger and nausea. Weight loss faster, confidence higher, price cheaper. See if you qualify at ro.co/TV.
Welcome.
Hey, everybody. What's up?
Hello. Co-hosting with us today. We're so glad to have you.
I'm so glad to be here.
Okay, lovely. So for new people, hi, welcome to Plus Sides Podcast. So we on this podcast focus on all the plus sides of treatments for the disease of obesity. It is not just about weight. As a matter of fact, it's not about weight at all. We just think it is because that's what diet culture has told us forever. But truly, especially with GLP-1 medications, which we try to educate on a lot because it is, really, I hate to say the newest, but when it comes to Mounjaro, zepbound, the newest, right?
Right.
Form of treatment for obesity, for insulin resistance, and incredibly effective outside of surgery. And so we really want to talk about that. We talk about surgery on here. We talk about other medicines. We talk about food. We talk about movement. We talk about nutrition. So all of those, we bring on experts and talk to them about that. But we also bring on the voices of our community because it's very important, we think, for perspective. And we also want to give a marginalized community a voice. And we don't think that happens enough. So that's what we do here. My name's Kim. And I have been on every GLP-1 there is so far for obesity or type 2 diabetes. I struggle with obesity my whole life. I had a binge eating disorder my whole life. I do not have any problems with that anymore. and which is incredible to me. I am able to make my own choices with food. And if I decide to have French fries, at least it was my choice. I wasn't driven by food noise and driven crazy by it. So for me, this has been my miracle, and it has for so many people in our community. And so that's what we try to talk about here. I am also joined by Kat. Kat, if you could tell us about who you are, why you're here, what you're doing.
Hey, what am I doing? Hey. Hi, I'm Kat. I have lost 65 pounds on Mounjaro.
Damn.
Don't you know?
Cool. She's also from the Midwest, don't you know?
From the Midwest. But I've been here. I've been a Southerner plus 20 years. So it's
just not in the way you talk.
It still slips out, though. It still slips out. I say soda. I don't say pop.
Oh, you do. That's right. You do say soda, but you say it like pop. You say soda. It's the Midwest way to say soda.
It's Midwestern.
Love it.
The proper question down here is, do you want a Coke?
Yeah, that's right. And well, in Georgia.
That's deeper, right? That's not even Georgia. That's deeper in Georgia. Like that might be like Alabama, Mississippi.
Atlanta.
Right?
Like if you're in Atlanta,
y'all call
people are gonna say, what kind of Coke you got? And they'll go, we don't have Coke, we have Pepsi. And that's it. It's like,
right.
That's how it works. Because Pepsi's big here too. Just not as big as Coke.
Yeah. Well, at least live in North Carolina, and Pepsi was born there, right? So
yeah, sure. Yeah.
But still.
All right. Outside of pop.
Pop.
We're so glad to have you here. Kat's been with me since the beginning. We're good friends. We used to work together. If you don't know her, she's fabulous. You can follow her at Kat Carter on TikTok. Are you at Carter on IG too?
It is Mrs. Kat Carter on IG.
Mrs. Kat Carter.
I know. It's gonna call. This was before plus sides. I had all kind of my my ADHD also translated into my socials as well.
Yes, sure.
Sure.
My ADHD transfers into everything, so I get it. But also, Kat is our resident fitty.
I do the butt stuff.
Yeah, she does butt stuff.
Not for OnlyFans. It's actual
not for
OnlyFans workouts. Yeah,
the butt stuff workouts. Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. And she does that. She puts that on her. Sometimes we put it here on the podcast for you to watch if you want to do some exercise to not have.
Don't lose your bum.
Don't lose your bum. I wish I had known sooner. Else I probably. I still got a booty. It's just kind of flabby. You
put muscle on underneath.
Yeah, I need to go. I need to build that muscle back up. Bullshit. I'm working on it. Bear, who are you? Why are you here? What you doing?
I'm Bear. I'm the husband. Also the
my arm
person that your arm candy. I'm also the guy that came up with the DC trip and the shirts.
He's our engineer.
The engineer.
He will never let us forget it.
Yep, I am the podcast extraordinaire in the background, so I'm the one that you guys have to thank for all the brilliance.
So true. And all the times that anytime I go off on a tangent, that for sure now is usually cut. So,
I mean,
unless it's good stuff, and then you keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I did not have obesity until I was older in my 30s, but it definitely kicked in. It's something that I think runs in my family, and I have also been on all of the GLP-1s that are in existence with my wife. I started officially about 6 months after she did. Because the first one really messed with my stomach, but it's definitely been a miracle drug. It really it helps me with my desire to eat. It helps me with remembering, to keep my water in, and to eat high value food as opposed to just what I want to eat. And it's kind of become what I want to eat now. So I definitely enjoy it, and it's helped with impulsivity. As an autistic person, I tend to go off in just weird directions, and this helps with it.
It does help, though. I think
it does help. Mm-hmm. It does help. Yeah. I'm going to piggyback on what you said, Bear. Just because, I still struggle with binge eating disorder. I still have breakthrough food noise and all that stuff. So, while the medication does really help suppress it, I also combine my therapy with therapy and medication, and that also is. For me, it's 365. It's 360 degrees, not not the full year.
Yeah.
But it's
I love it. I mean, I think that's true. Like we talk a lot about therapy on the podcast as well. And we've had Dr. Rachel on, and we're going to have more people on from a perspective of, I mean, like truthfully though, I say this all the time. This is just as much a mental journey as it is a physical one, you know? And it's so important. So I want to provide more resources on the podcast for people who cannot access therapy. Right. And I think a lot of us that are lucky enough to have a community that helps. That said, I think that I have definitely processed a lot of my trauma on TikTok, which I think would have been better processed with a therapist. Because sometimes processing your trauma and vomiting it all over the internet can make people upset, you know? And
we're all going through it.
Yeah, and I wish that but it is like you're especially 2 years in, like I'm evolving and changing and I'm still the same person, but it's a lot. Like you live in this big body for most of your life. And there's just a lot of trauma because our society is just not accepting of big bodies. They're just not. And especially when I've been like this for as long as I can remember, you know? So trying to, I think learn from that and grow from that has been a really big part of my journey. And so I think what you mentioned about therapy is just really important. So thank you for sharing that. Today, our show is UK based ish because our community guest, and I'll tell her where she's at specifically because I'm not sure. I don't ask her, but I'll invite her on. And then we also have a pharmacist from there as well. So I think it's good for us to understand what's going on in other parts of the world with these medications and what it's like for others. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're so glad that you are joining us. So with that, I'm going to invite in our first guest, which is Charlie. Hey, Charlie.
Hi.
You're gorgeous.
Thank you.
Welcome. What time is it for you right now?
It is 3:20 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Oh, that's not too bad.
I figured it was early afternoon.
I've done worse time zones. I did another one where I had to stay up till 1 a.m.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I used to work for a company that was based out of Sydney. And so and they also had an office in London. And so it was either like I got my London people in the morning, and then but anybody that was Sydney, I was on 8 p.m. meetings here in East Coast. So that was a brutal job, So I'm kind of glad that's over, to be honest. But at least like I think the London was more workable. So I'm so glad you're here. So where are you based specifically?
So I'm right down the south of England. So I'm in East Sussex. So by the seaside, the bottom. If you look at England and you go down to the sea at the bottom in the middle, I'm about there.
Nice.
So, yes.
So what we usually do. What did you say? I interrupted you. Sorry.
Not that I ever actually go to the seaside.
Oh, you never do? Never?
Very rarely.
Is it just not a good sea?
It's a stony beach.
Ah, that's why.
Yeah. We need sandy
walk. It sounds like a good walk. Yeah. Wow. I think sometimes when you're in somewhere where there's like a point of water, like a point of interest, you just get so used to it. You don't even. Yeah.
We go to other people's beaches. Like we get in the car and drive to other people's beaches. They're better. But other people drive to our beaches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
Can you move your mic closer to you?
Of course. Or is it my menopause fan?
No, it's more of an echo. So I feel like it's echoing from your office and not your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Can you get it close like that?
Okay. I'm going to move my menopause fan to the other side.
Okay. Listen, it's a thing. Thank you.
She's on low.
Okay.
That's all. Personal summer.
Okay. So what we do now, Charlie, is I know we connected on TikTok, which is fantastic. I'm seeing so many more people from other countries, which is awesome. And we'd love to understand your journey personally. If you can just kind of tell us when you started struggling, whether it was weight or relationship with food or anything like that, and what it was like for you. And then what it's been like with you since you've been on treatment. We'd love to understand that. And then we'll invite in our other guests and we'll all have a roundtable and a discussion and learn together. Okay. Okay. All right. Pat and I are interrupters, so we're going to go on mute.
So I never really had any problem with weight until I probably hit about 20. I was a skinny kid. I was a skinny teenager. So I know a lot of people have battled their weight from childhood, but that wasn't the case for me. I was actually nicknamed chicken legs at one point because I was skinny, like literally very skinny. And I could eat everything and nothing ever had an effect. I had such a good metabolism. I don't know, I could eat everything. When I got to about 20, that's when sort of weight started to come on. And the thing is, I was eating the same as I've always ate, but for some reason, I now gained weight. I remember the first time I went into a shop and I bought a size 10 clothes, which is not even that big, but I remember crying because like it was the first time I had to buy a bigger size clothes, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger after that. I did all of the normal things that people tend to do. I did Slimming World, Weight Watchers. I think you have them there, don't you? Cambridge diet, is that a thing in America? Basically, that's a starvation diet. You just drink milkshakes and it's 800 calories a day. That's all you're allowed.
Like MetaFast.
Yeah, similar Slim Fast type thing. I did all of those things and I would lose weight and then I would gain it back the moment I sort of stopped doing those things. I've joined gyms, I've done exercise classes, and my problem is not that I can't lose the weight. I can lose the weight. And I know a lot of people struggle to even lose a pound. I can lose the weight. Keeping it off has been my problem. So I may as well use the Mounjaro to lose weight. But my main plan with my Mounjaro is to help me keep it off. I can lose the weight by myself when I put my mind to it. I just, for some reason, I mean, I know the reason. I want to eat too much food, I'm sure of it. But I can't seem to control it. So I end up I spend a few months happy and slim, and then it all just starts piling back on again. And I just repeat the cycle. I've probably repeated that cycle 10 times. So I've got literally clothes of every size under my bed because there's no point throwing them away. I will cycle back through them. And just nothing I did ever managed to make a permanent change in the way I treated food and the way I desired food and the mental torment I had by telling myself I can't eat the food. I would go, so it was very torturous. Being slim was very torturous in my mind because I couldn't eat any of the things I wanted to eat. And my mind was always telling me to eat them. And I would go all right for a few months, maybe even 6 months, and then I would break and I would just start eating it all. So it's definitely a food thing for me. But for some reason, I've just not been able to get a handle on it. So then I was researching. I don't know how I came about Mounjaro, actually. I'm really annoyed that I didn't find Wegovy because Wegovy's been around for a few years in the UK. I would already be slim, but I didn't find it. It wasn't talked about. So that's why I think it's really important that everyone is talking on TikTok because it will allow more people to find this stuff. Because if I'd have known about Wegovy, I would have done Wegovy. So I think I came across quite randomly on TikTok. I don't know whether it was might have been Half of Amy or it might have been Lose It with Annie. One of them was talking about Mounjaro and I was like, I need to do that. Wasn't out in the UK yet. So I waited. And the minute it was available, I bought it. And it's been fantastic. The weight has dropped off me. It literally has dropped off me. And that is, again, because I don't really have a problem losing weight. So the weight has dropped off. And obviously I'm not in maintenance yet. That my battle has not started. My battle is not the weight loss. My battle is keeping the weight off. That will be the battle. And it's just, I've had no side effects. I've had no bad symptoms. I've just got on the scales every week and I've been down a couple of pounds and I've no bothersome voice telling me to go and eat the food. And that was my problem. And now that problem is gone, there is no problem. That's it, really. And it's been, I love it. There's just nothing bad I could say about the medication. It's worked so well for me.
Quick pause here. I've had moments on my GLP-1 journey where insurance changes or rising costs forced me to look for a new provider. And honestly, that process can feel very overwhelming. But that's why the Plus Sides podcast has partnered with GLP Winner to give our subscribers a resource to help them make that decision easier. GLP Winner is a comparison platform that lets you explore telehealth providers in all 50 states, whether you're looking for brand name medications or compounded options. You can see pricing up front, read reviews, and get a clear picture of which provider might align best with your needs. Check it out today at glpwinner.com/plus sides. That's glpwinner.com/plus sides. Don't forget the Z. Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m., and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is, geez, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through this same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you had this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need.
$20 a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Ro helps find the medication that's right for you, based on cost, availability, and your weight loss goals. Losing weight with GLP-1s is possible through Ro.
So how has it been in terms of, if you're okay for me, if you aren't comfortable with questions, you just let me know. I'll take it out.
Everything's on TikTok. So.
All right. Well, that's how most creators are. They're like, Right. I would love to understand, because I feel like you're talking about regain, and that's very, very common. I would love to understand if when we talk about food noise, if that resonates with you and what that's like for you before, what it felt like for you before, and then what it feels like for you now.
Yeah. So it's a really hard thing to describe. I've tried to describe it on TikToks a few times. So I had heard the concept of food noise about TikTok. I hadn't heard of it prior to that, but it's quite widely spoken about within the Ozempic, wegovy, Mounjaro, GLP-1 in general community. And I was like, oh, that's a load of rubbish. Telling you to eat food. I'm just being greedy, because that's what you think, isn't it? I'm like, I'm just being greedy. They're just being greedy. We're all just being greedy. And there's no such thing until I took the Mounjaro. And in the morning, there was no more food noise. And I felt a bit silly.
That fast?
Yeah, it really worked hard for me to get 9 p.m. Tuesday night. And the reason I realised is because it had got to 3 in the afternoon and I hadn't eaten anything. Yeah. Not that I advocate that. That's definitely not the right thing to do. But it was my first day. Do you know what I mean? And I hadn't even remembered to eat. And that was unheard of.
Yes.
So unheard of. Not only was I not physically hungry, it was the head hunger. I work and I'm out in the car all day going from one place to the next place. I'm a community worker. Mm-hmm. And I pass bakeries, I pass supermarkets, and I'm usually stopping at those places to get my breakfast, to get my lunch, a sausage sandwich, a bacon roll, some sort of pastry. And it didn't even occur to me to stop for those things. And it wasn't until I got home from work and I realised I hadn't eaten. And I was like, nothing has told me to go and eat food today.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. I didn't think I had food noise. I didn't believe what food noise was. I honestly thought it was a load of rubbish until it turned off. And I think it's a hard concept to understand until it turns off.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, you just think it's normal. That's just the way the brain is and just normal. And so if you've had that for many, many years, I don't know at what point I got food noise. It just must have turned on one day. And until you turn it off, I think no one, until they turn it off, no one can fully understand what it is.
Truly.
And that's why a lot
Sometimes
of
I
people
feel like such a drug pusher because I'll be like, you don't know till you take it.
yeah.
Like, you don't.
You don't.
You don't really have it until
Yeah.
you turn it off.
Yeah.
Because you just think that's normal.
You just think you're hungry. I'm just very hungry all the time. Like that's how you think. Or
like, why am I always so hungry?
I'm greedy. I'm gluttonous. Like, you know what I mean? Like
you do tell yourself
I'm lazy. I have no willpower. Like that's what we tell ourselves because that is what society tells us. At least here in the States. Do you feel like it's similar there?
People tell us that all the time, that you just need to eat less, move more. And the thing is as well, I did try and eat less and I did move more, but it was what I say, it's not that, and it's a constant battle because I don't disagree that if I ate less and moved more, I would have lost weight. That for me, that is true. The problem is the eating less bit was very difficult when you have got that voice. It's not really a voice, but it's like a feeling, an urge, a desire to eat the food. And it's very difficult to ignore it. And you do ignore it for a time, you ignore it for several months. And eventually, though, you break and you start eating again. And if you've never known what is the experience, then I don't think you can really easily understand it and understand that eat less, move more. Like, because it's a very difficult point to argue with, because when people say it, I was like, well, yes, if I ate less and moved more, I would lose weight. Of course I would lose weight.
I can't lose a ton of weight, but I can lose like 30 to 40 pounds and then it returns.
Yeah.
And I white knuckle the whole way.
Yeah. See, for me, if I literally do eat less, I lose weight. I cannot maintain that because of the voice, and I break. I just break. At some point, I break.
Describe it with break.
Yeah.
It's like a mental breakdown.
It really is.
Can't do it anymore.
And then you shame yourself, right?
You live in torture every single day, denying yourself. And there's only so long you can live like that for, denying yourself, before you eventually break and you start eating the food that your mind is telling you to eat all the time. And it's a very miserable existence as well,
Yeah. And
I don't know if you've ever heard Dr. Rosen talk about this before on our podcast or anywhere. But what he explains to us, and he does such a good job at explaining it. It doesn't matter if you're my size or your size. Like if you've struggled forever, if you haven't, is he's saying that once your body gets to a level of metabolic unhealthiness, right? That is exactly what we're describing from a scientific perspective. What's happening in the body is our body's like, we're in trouble. We need to store for the famine. And so our body sends messages to our brain. This is what happens in a body with a metabolic disorder. Sends messages to our brain that says you need to eat. And not only do we need to eat, we need to eat a lot. If you find it's not just the noise, right? We need the bakery stuff. We need the carbs. We need the sugar. We need the high caloric things. We don't crave things like protein.
I've never craved a salad in my my no matter how hungry I am.
Yeah. So what he was saying is
fried chicken on it, right?
That's where the whole it's not your fault thing comes in. You can't help it, right?
Your body's designed to make you want to eat like that. Like we are set up, like evolutionary speaking. It's episode 5. It's my absolute favorite episode. With Dr. Rosen. I just freaking love it. Because, evolutionary speaking, who survived back when we were hunter-gatherers was those who could make it through the winter. So the people who could store body fat, basically. And so when we get metabolically unbalanced is kind of the way that I look at it. When we get that unbalance going on, our body is constantly in that, okay, we've got to store up, we've got to store up, we've got to store up, we've got to store up. So no matter what I do on my own, my body's still going to work against me. I have to have something that helps me balance that fight.
Yeah.
And these GLP-1s, this hormone that our body naturally creates, is just when you're metabolically unbalanced, it no longer creates it anymore. Once that's created for us, we can have a fighting chance against our body.
Yeah.
We can actually be able to control what our body naturally does.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's a godsend. But I was very similar to you, Charlie. In as a child, I was extremely skinny. My dad told me I was chicken legs all the way up until I was 15, 16 years of age.
Maybe you still
He
chicken
told me.
legs.
See, even she tells me I have chicken legs, and I'm a big guy now. So like that really resonated with me, because I was very similar, and I didn't change the way that I eat. I still eat very similar to how I've always eaten. There's not really a change to the type. It's just the amount of food, but very similar, because it just really resonated with me.
I think it's interesting how like we eat nutritiously. I don't know about you, Charlie, but I am a big believer in not diets and everything in moderation, like mostly nutritious food.
I haven't really changed what I eat that much. Really, it's volume. It's volume. I have still been to McDonald's a good 10, 15 times in the last 6 months, like with the kids. We've still had takeouts and had them delivered to our home. Chinese food, Indian food. They're very popular here. I don't know how popular. And kebab shop food, which is Turkish food. And they get delivered to the house. I've still ate all of that. It's just when we order like a Domino's pizza now, instead of eating like 3/4 of a large pizza, I have 2 slices.
Yeah.
And I'm done.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy. But the thing is, I'm 2 slices and I'm done and I'm happy. Whereas when I'm on a diet, I'm 2 slices and I'm making myself stop. And I'm unhappy that I've had to make myself stop because I want more. Whereas now I have 2 slices and I'm happy. I don't want, you can pay me to have another slice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want another slice.
Yeah. I totally can relate. I mean, I think that's what's so cool is it's like when you're making the choice, like, I don't know, like the freedom of this, right? Like when you're making the choice of what you're going to eat, at least it's yours, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like you said, like it's this drive, and it literally is like a visceral response. And that made me feel better. Like, I think that sounds weird, but like Dr. Rosen was telling us, like, and I know we don't have him today, but like he's a bariatric surgeon as well. And he's been, dealing with obesity since the beginning of, working. And he was telling us, he's been on Dave's show too. I don't know if you watch Dave's show. But he was telling us that the reason that 50% of people regain their weight that even have surgery, even though that we know surgery is the best numbers, right? He's like, it's because it's obesity. It's because of all that is because of the insulin resistance. It's because of how that is a diseased body, right? And so he was telling us that even then, it's like, it's just this regain. Like, that's why it happens. Like, it's not your fault, right? Like, your body's like, we got to do this. And not only is that happening where you want to eat more, not only that, your body's actually starting to metabolize differently to figure out how to store the fat, right? In your middle, right? Like it's been like, we got it. It doesn't know that losing weight is a good thing. And he was telling us that when they discovered GLP-1s, I feel like you would like this. When they discovered GLP-1s, they were doing bariatric surgery on patients that had obesity and type 2 diabetes. And when they did it, when they did this surgery, they were obviously taking the bottom of the intestine where the GLP-1 actually occurs, right? Bringing it up. And so it was naturally raising the GLP-1 within the body. And there were people that were walking out after bariatric surgery that were in remission or cured, or however you want to look at it, of type 2 diabetes, just like that, before they left. And that's when they were like, maybe type 2 diabetes isn't about weight. Maybe it's not about weight. Maybe it's about the GLP-1. And that's how they reverse engineered that and made these. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah,
I know.
I didn't know how they came up like with the concept.
Isn't that fascinating? And that's why we had those ones. So I think in your country, I believe that you guys had something called Saxenda, which you guys have had a long time.
Horrible. I haven't used it, but my sister tried it. It makes you very sick, and it's a daily injection.
Yes, John and I both took it. It was okay for me, but nothing as good as like Mounjaro or wegovy.
It messed up my.
John could not handle it. Made him so sick.
Like I tried it for like a week, and I could not.
I just stayed on the low dose
Dude.
for a long time and I was okay. As long as I didn't rush up and dose, I was actually okay. But it wasn't nowhere near as good as the weekly ones. It really wasn't. They continued to get better.
But because of the stigma, again, against the weight loss injection. So, for instance, I didn't know my sister took Saxenda and tried it until I started the Mounjaro and started my TikTok. And then she came out with it. So she hadn't told me. So, again, the
Even your
secrecy
sister
is that, because the thing is, again, if she'd have told me that there was a weight loss injection, I would have taken it as well. I didn't take it because no one told me, because no one talks about them. It says you should be ashamed.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, is your sister's situation kind of similar to yours as well, where she can lose the weight, but then she cycles through? No,
no. My sister's been on. So my sister started Mounjaro a month after me, so she's been on it now about probably 4.5, coming up to the 5-month mark, and she's only lost a stone.
Okay, which is a stone to us. 10 pounds. 10 pounds to us. 1 stone is 10 pounds?
14.
14. Okay.
14.
Yeah. And that's, whereas myself, in 5 months, I lost 3 stone.
Oh, wow.
So she's definitely struggling to lose it more than me. And she's never lost weight as easily as me. When I put my mind to it and I sit there and I do it, I can get it off. My sister is very different. She can't get it off.
Does she struggle with anything like PCOS?
Not that we know of, and my sister doesn't have children, so it's usually something that's found out once someone tries to have children. She's not having children. So, because she's 28, 29, but then she also drinks alcohol, not in excess, but she does drink alcohol, like a glass of wine with dinner, or maybe a bottle at the weekend. I don't drink, so I've been putting down the fact that she's not having as much success as me because she's drinking her calories. I don't know for sure.
Well, I mean, Kat is a big wine drinker, and she's like, I don't give a shit. I'm having my wine.
I'm having my wine, damn it. I mean,
it suppresses your appetite.
Yeah. You what?
Not obsessed, yeah.
It suppresses your appetite, but I don't know. I can still drink liquid. I've never had trouble drinking liquid. So I don't know whether she's managing to go over calories still because she's drinking them.
Is she on? Well, you said a few months now. What dose is she on?
So she's only on 5 milligrams. She won't move up because it makes her nauseous. So she won't move up until she stops feeling nauseous on 5. And I've told her you just need to go for 7.5 and just get over the side effects. Like once you've jabbed it for a couple of weeks, it will subside.
It will subside. Yeah.
Sisters, they don't.
Is she your older sister or
my younger sister?
Younger sister. Oh my God, mine won't listen to me either.
They're not.
Actually, it took her a really long time, my younger sister, and then she got on wegovy. I'm gonna have her on the show. And then she got on wegovy, and finally, I mean, it took a year of me for her to see what I was doing and see the podcast and see the socials to be like, maybe there's some genetic to this. My whole family, other than one of us, is on that. So
my mum is on it. My sister is on it. My husband is on it, but that's not blood relation, obviously.
Yeah.
But as it happens, his mum is on Ozempic, but that is from the doctor for her type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
And she's not losing weight, but that is because they do not give you the weight loss doses. Once her blood sugars are under control, so from the NHS, once your blood sugars are under control, they'll leave you on that dose.
What does NHS stand for us to learn?
National Health Service.
Okay.
It's a bit like our insurance in a way. Like it comes out of our wages. A section every month of money. I pay about £200 a month towards the NHS. Okay. It goes on how much you earn.
What is £200 in dollars? Do you know?
200 is almost the same. It's almost
the conversion rate is almost dollar for dollar at this point.
It is almost. I think it's maybe 80p, whatever the percents, 80 cents to a pound, I think. It's almost the same.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
And so you could just walk into a doctor's surgery, make an appointment, and if I needed emergency treatment at the hospital, it would all be free at the point of service.
Yeah.
And things like diabetic medication you would get free. But they're doing it to maintain her diabetes, not for her to lose weight. So she's on 1 milligram of Ozempic, and then they won't move her up.
Because her A1C
as far as they're concerned, her diabetes is under control, and she's not going to lose weight until she gets moved up higher.
Probably not. Yeah.
really one milligram affects her her A1C. Interesting.
It
I would
affects my
have.
dad's. My
It
dad
is.
has diabetes, and he's on Ozempic. Same thing, but
He's on 1 milligram.
but in the States, they would move him to 1 or to 2 milligrams. So they did. And his blood sugars are very good for him. He's horrible diabetes. But he won't lose any weight. But we think he can't lose weight because he's on chemotherapy. So
there was a lot of contention with us, with my mother-in-law, when I first started Mounjaro, because there was that whole, well, you're taking my medication.
oh yeah.
That was last
Mhm.
year. Yeah.
So you guys have zepbound there?
Mounjaro is the only thing we have.
The only thing. So like the
That's
same
how
thing with
it's
Ozempic. But you guys have Wegovy there.
We have Wegovy and we have Ozempic. So Ozempic for diabetes, Wegovy for weight loss,
Mm-hmm.
and then just Mounjaro. I imagine zepbound would come at some point, because it started off just Ozempic, and then we got Wegovy. So I imagine that we'll probably have zepbound soon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
So, but yeah, so they won't move her up. She's not losing weight. We did have an argument, but she wasn't massively happy about my taking diabetic medication, even though I'm not taking her diabetic medication.
Right.
On Ozempic. It's
Right.
different.
Yeah, totally different.
Yeah.
But genetically speaking, I mean, you would likely be heading towards that. Like, I mean, like if you
Exactly. And now the contention is a little bit the fact that I'm losing weight and she's not,
yeah.
because I'm on weight loss doses.
Yeah.
Oh, mom.
Can't win for losing with parents sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you actually, and you kind of you touched on it a little bit, and I'm just kind of curious your thoughts on it. We had the CEO of Novo Nordisk, Lars Jorgensen, was actually in our capital back in early September, so a couple of weeks ago, for a hearing about the cost of these medications in the United States. And he made a comment that a lot of the new medications and I guess new medical procedures, what kind of like just new medicine stuff that comes to the United States doesn't always make it over there in the UK or in Europe in general. Based off of your experience, would you say like that's true? Do you think like there's any like medications or things that like you hear that we have in the US that like you don't find in the UK, with of course the exception I get it of like zepbound that's brand new, but like is there anything else, or do you have a take on that?
Think of, not that I've needed,
Okay.
so therefore I suppose I wouldn't know that I can't get it until I went to try and get it.
Okay.
We get things later. So for instance, you guys all had Mounjaro before us, you had all you had the Ozempic and the Wegovy all before us, and then it filters down to us, but not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
I think that because of the way your insurance process works, like you have, if you're adequately insured with a good insurer, you have better access to things actually than our NHS, because our NHS are reluctant to spend money unless they absolutely have to.
Okay.
So I recently went to go and ask for blood tests because I wanted to see how all my HN1C or whatever it's called levels and my iron levels and all of that were doing. And she refused to give me a blood test.
Oh, wow.
Unless I'm presenting with a problem,
Okay.
she won't test me.
So like preventative stuff is a little bit harder to do then.
Yeah, they don't really that care. They want you to already be sick. and then they'll patch you up.
And then,
I mean, I wouldn't say that's much different here, honestly.
No, it's really not.
We do not have a lot of preventative stuff. Like, I would say, I feel like the first time I was aware of things that were preventative were people that were able to take medication to reduce the risk of getting HIV. And even that is really difficult to get covered by insurance. But I remember that just being the last few years, me hearing about that. And I hear that's really, really hard and really, really expensive to get. Yeah, like it's not, it is definitely like those kinds of things for preventative care are definitely for the rich, right?
Yeah,
or the heavily insured.
Yeah. The NHS is very much set up for like emergencies and when you're already sick. So for instance, my mum was recently ill. She went to A&E, which is emergency unit. Accident emergency, you just drive to the hospital. or you can get an ambulance to pick you up. All of that is free. And if it's an emergency, ambulance will come within like maybe 10, 15 minutes. But if it's like not seen as you're like dying, then it can take 5-6 hours, depending.
Oh, wow.
So she just drove, her husband drove her to the hospital. It was about, she was in the waiting room. You got seen by an initial nurse. And then she was waiting for about 15 hours in a chair in the waiting room until she then got seen. And then she got transferred to a different hospital at 3 a.m. and then finally given a bed. So like, there's like, no,
it's not that different here.
It's
These
not
days.
that different.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it's
honestly,
really
even here,
not.
even for the insured, they triage you with the nurse. And if you're not dying, you will wait.
Wait.
Yeah, and you'll wait
Yeah.
hours.
Like when my lap band slipped, we went to a place and we're waiting forever. And then we went and we're like, we're going to go to a different ER. We called around and found an ER that wasn't as busy and we drove there, because we
go for such minor things that they don't have to need an emergency service for. So I think that's what causes a lot of the delays. Like you see people there like with a cold.
Yeah.
Do they do bariatric surgeries there covered by NHS stuff?
You'd have to be morbidly obese, but yes. I don't know what the criteria is, but I would imagine it to be a BMI of maybe 50. Get something like that. And it's a long wait. So to get bariatric surgery, they have tiers. So you have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1 is where you go to like your doctor and you say you want help with your weight, and they'll send you to like a specialist appointment to speak to someone. You go to group meetings, talk about your feelings, learn about nutrition. You go on courses to learn about food. People know all of that.
Like the States. Yeah.
We know how to eat. So it's all a waste of time. Don't need to talk about the feelings for most people, I think. And then you go to the next tier, and then the third tier, they'll take you to the take you for bariatric surgery. That whole process can take 4 to 5 years.
Ooh, you'd be passed away by then.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know whether like
4 to 5 years. Sometimes it's like that in the States too, though.
Bariatric surgery. Because if we have access to medical surgery,
6 months it took.
Yeah. When you went to get your Mounjaro over there, do you have to have like a prescription, or do you just, it's kind of like I want to take this?
Don't ask that. We want to invite in Naz before you ask that.
So Naz can probably answer that.
Well, I was just
Charlie to answer it too. But let's bring it.
Well, I just wanted to know her experience. Like when you went to do that, what was that like?
Yeah.
So you just you Google Mounjaro. That was my process. It wasn't actually, Naz was not the first pharmacy I've been bought from. He's my third, but my favorite. My first one though, it was I just Googled Mounjaro UK. Where can I buy? Found a brand, a pharmacy, and I knew the name of the pharmacy, like it was a household name, so therefore I had trust. I filled in the consultation form online. It was then checked by a doctor, and then they sent it to me within about 3 days in the post. I had to take a picture of myself in the mirror to prove that I was indeed fat.
Yeah. Wow.
And I also had to send a picture of myself standing on the scales, and my feet needed to be in the picture, and a picture of the scales. And this, I think, is because there are a lot of people trying to get it, and they're actually dangerously underweight.
Yeah.
And they put their hands on it. So I think it's a little bit horrible having to send the picture in to prove that you're overweight. But then I understand that like it's important that we keep the medication out of the hands of people that are lying on the forms.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes
a lot. You see, and there's been people in hospital recently, and there's been some bad press over like Mounjaro and how easy it is to get, because you've had I see on TikTok comments all the time. People are for the scale picture, they're holding a dumbbell and taking the picture. So the scale looks like it's more than it is to be able to get the medication, and then they're ending up in hospital because actually they were anorexic.
Yeah.
And they were barely keeping themselves upright with their low weight as it was, and then they've jabbed that into them, and then they've sent themselves to hospital. And of course Mounjaro gets to blame these dangerous weight loss medication when actually it's because it was been inappropriately been used.
I definitely think we have that here with people accessing compound. It is harder to get a doctor to prescribe these for you if you don't fit in with one of those categories in this country. It's hard to get. It's hard to get doctors to prescribe it for you at all here. Like it really.
If you fit the criteria, you got BMI over 30, and that's all it is really. A BMI over 30.
BMI over 30.
You can buy it. It's not difficult, and you'll have it next day delivery.
I actually think that's great. But why not? You know what I'm saying? Like they make it way more difficult here, and yet we still have a shortage, even though, right? Like it's crazy. Anyway, with that, let's talk about that subject. But first, let's bring in Naz. Naz, if you could tell us a little bit about like who you are, what you do, and how you help people.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. We're there. So yes, hello everyone. My name is Naz. I am a superintendent. So in the UK, each pharmacy / prescribing service has a superintendent pharmacist, and we are in charge for ensuring that the laws are being followed, patient care is being handled appropriately. And I essentially piece all that together for Cloud Pharmacy, and I've worked with Cloud for almost a decade.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
So we'd love to know a little bit about how this works on your end. So like hearing what Charlie has told us about her experience getting the medication, being on the medication, and also some of the issues of people getting it maybe inappropriately. What's been your experience with that?
Okay, absolutely. So whilst I was listening, you mentioned Wegovy, Ozempic, Saxenda. So we started off, so we're not a standalone weight loss service. We offer treatments. So we started off as making healthcare accessible for everyone. Whatever can be provided safely online. So when it was then deemed that weight loss could be prescribed digitally, we did Saxenda. So Saxenda is liraglutide. It's the once daily injection. I have actually taken this myself, which gave me a good understanding of how patients might feel. And I agree with you. I did not enjoy it at all. I think I used it for up to 2 weeks, and I thought, I quite like my size. I will take that. I will accept that. So it was interesting. Saxenda then had a shortage, and it wasn't available in the UK for a while because global demand was so high. So when you touched on Novo Nordisk operate in every continent, and when they started offering it privately, I guess in the UK, with the US demand especially, we weren't getting the allocation. So there was no Saxenda, there were no GLP-1s available. Then as Wegovy came out, Saxenda became available again, and oddly, we still have a lot of patients on Saxenda. So although the clinical data suggests Saxenda is not as effective, and actually it works out more expensive in the UK to use Saxenda, given that you need to use 5 pens in 1 month when you're at the maintenance dose. So I always try and recommend people to use Mounjaro or Wegovy. But whether there's any science behind it or not, some patients just prefer the daily injection. They feel like it works quicker for them. But yes, there's Saxenda. We then started doing Wegovy. Wegovy was introduced in the UK, but it was introduced, it kept getting delayed again. So everything trickles down from the US. So because you all had such a demand for the drug, we kept getting delayed. And then we had a quota. So each pharmacy was only able to take on, a set amount of patients per month. We then, we almost had to have a waiting list for who can we start, who can we not start. And we almost did it like a lottery system just to make it fair, because the demand was so high. And then when Mounjaro came along, which is our favorite GLP-1 at the moment, all these patients sending us nice messages saying, hey, I'm not sure if it's working because I'm losing weight, but Saxenda and Wegovy made me feel horrible. This makes me feel nothing at all. And this is what I found really interesting. We've never had so many people comment about the lack of side effects on this treatment. And in regards to the actual side effects, food noise. I need my ADHD meds less. Now, again, there's nothing there's nothing scientific in that just yet. However, the amount of patients that have said it, there has to be something there. So I will. I'm sure as time goes on, we will know. But yes, the food noise, Charlie, I know you tried to describe it. It's so hard to describe. It's almost like having a voice within you that says, "Hey, you don't need it," or let's the part of your brain where you're craving food, it just turns it off. There's a button there. That's all it is.
It's like a switch. Boom, done.
Like a switch. And that's what. And I don't know if you guys
I have had it back. So like when I'm nearing a jab again, or I need to change dose, I know when I need to change dose because it's back, and the voice is there all day long for a couple of days or something. And so like I know it wasn't just in my mind 6 months ago, because even now I'm reminded of the food noise because it has returned on occasion. And this is why I will never stop taking a GLP-1. I know that the voice is still there. I can't cure the voice.
Yeah, no,
there is no cure.
Hey Plus Siders, we're so glad that you were able to tune in for part 1 of the episode. Part 2 will be posted next week. We look forward to seeing you then. Have a great week. And remember, you're not alone. It's not your fault.
Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through the same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you had this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need. Today's episode is brought to you by Ro, a telehealth platform that's changing the game of GLP-1 access. What sets Ro apart? Ro understands the challenges of navigating insurance hurdles and the skyrocketing prices of GLP-1 medications. That's why they specialize in getting insurance approvals for GLP-1s. And if insurance is a barrier, they go a step further by prescribing brand name zepbound vials for prices close to those of compound GLP-1s. With Ro, you're not just getting a prescription, you're getting a partner in your journey that's helping you access affordable treatment and guiding you every step of the way. Whether it's insurance approvals or cost-effective alternatives, Ro is here to make sure that you get the medication you need. Visit ro.co/plussides with a Z today to see how they can help you take control of your weight management journey with affordable, accessible care. That's ro.co/plussides with a Z, making healthcare work for you. Check out the link in our show notes for more details.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.